I'm Sarah Ahmed Burney. Welcome to today's presentation on the crucial topic of Internet of Things security in smart home environments of autumn 2023, which I'll be presenting with my fellow teammates. As the adoption of smart home continues to surge, it is essential to address the security and privacy risk associated with these connected devices. Smart home environments offer homeowners a myriad of benefits, including improved energy efficiency, convenience, enhanced security. However, these advantages come with significant challenges, and a growing number of IoT devices in our home open the door to potential security breaches and privacy by malicious hackers. In this context, our project aims to shed light on a security. Hi, I'm Sarah Ahmed Burney. Welcome to today's presentation on the crucial topic of Internet of Things security in smart home environments of autumn 2023, which I'll be presenting with my fellow teammates. As the adoption of smart home continues to surge, it is essential to address the security and privacy risk associated with these connected devices. Smart home environments offer homeowners a myriad of benefits, including improved energy efficiency, convenience, and enhanced security. However, these advantages come with significant challenges, and a growing number of IoT devices in our home open the door to potential security breaches and privacy by malicious hackers. In this context, our project
Due to the increase of cyber attackers, the aim of this IoT-based smart home is to leverage technology to create an intelligent, connected, and responsive living environment which enhances the resident quality of life while promoting energy efficiency, security, and personalization.
In this type of attack, compromised devices, often IoT devices, are controlled by a central command server. These compromised devices, known as bots, can be used collectively to carry out malicious activities. When it comes to smart homes, botnet attacks can be particularly worrisome. Smart home devices connected to the internet are potentially targets for hackers if adequate security measures are not in place. Compromised smart home devices can be utilized to launch various malicious activities such as distributed denial of service attacks, theft attack, and even spamming and phishing. In this type of attack, compromised devices, often IoT devices, are controlled by a central command server. These compromised devices, known as bots, can be used collectively to carry out malicious activities. When it comes to smart homes, botnet attacks can be particularly worrisome. Smart home devices connected to the internet are potentially targets for hackers if adequate security measures are not in place. Compromised smart home devices can be utilized to launch various malicious activities such as distributed denial of service attacks, theft attack, and even spamming and phishing campaigns. As we delve into the inner workings of a botnet attack, a concerning cyber threat is in the realm of smart home environments. Understanding how a botnet attack unfolds is crucial in implementing an effective security measure. Below on this, I have a detailed explanation how it works. Botnet establishment. The command and control server serves as a central point of compromised devices. Device compromise targets compromised through weak security measures. Malware distribution, granting them remote control and adding them to the botnet. Next, botnet communication, receiving commands and sending data back to the attacker. Moving on to command execution. As we delve into the inner workings of a botnet attack, a concerning cyber threat is in the realm of smart home environments. Understanding how a botnet attack unfolds is crucial in implementing an effective security measure. Below on this, I have a detailed explanation how it works. Botnet establishment. The command and control server serves as a central point of compromised devices. Device compromise targets compromised through weak security measures. Malware distribution, granting them remote control and adding them to the botnet. Next, botnet communication, receiving commands and sending data back to the attacker. Moving on to command execution. Botnet attacks carry significant consequences, impacting both individuals and organizations. Distributed denial of service disruptions, where websites and services are overwhelmed with attack as targeted, causing disruptions and financial losses. Malware propagation, compromised devices can spread malware, leading to further infections and system damages. Breach of privacy. Botnet attacks carry significant consequences, impacting both individuals and organizations. Distributed denial of service disruptions, where websites and services are overwhelmed with attack as targeted, causing disruptions and financial losses. Malware propagation, compromised devices can spread malware, leading to further infections in systems.
Now I will talk about another attack named brute force attack. An attacker uses automated software or scripts to quickly generate and test a huge number of potential passwords or encryption keys in a brute force attack. How BFA and home security are related. As nowadays people are more comfortable with smart homes, so it's obvious that every device is connected to Wi-Fi or internet. All the computer networks, websites, and encrypted data are the main targets of brute force attacks. There is a connection between these attacks and home security in terms of password protection and network device security. Router administration. The administrator login page of home network is a common target of brute force attacks. Then cloud-based home security systems. Brute force attacks can also be targeted at cloud-based home security systems. Having a strong password is essential. Connected devices. Today, many houses has a variety of interconnected gadgets, including security cameras and smart homes gadgets and Google Assistant. Wi-Fi network security. Brute force attacks can be used to gain unauthorized access to a home network by systematically attempting various combinations of passwords. How BFA works. BFA can be carried out in various ways depending on the type of target system. Online BFA, which can be happen in login page and tries to guess the password by entering various combinations. Then offline by encrypted file or database containing user passwords. Distributed BFA, where multiple attackers can use a network of computers to launch a coordinated BFA attack. Then there are two categories of BFA attacks. Insider, where they possess this comprehensive technical knowledge regarding the network, IP address, VLAN, network local area service clustering application. And the outsider, where they have no prior knowledge, but they can try and error and guess the correct password. There are 5 types of brute force attack: simple brute force attack, reserved brute force attack, dictionary brute force attack, hybrid brute force attack, credential brute force attack. Now the consequences. Data branches. Brute force attacks can result in data branches where hackers steal sensitive information. System downtime. Attacks using brute force can overload a system with login attempts, causing downtime for the system. Compromised system. An attacker may be able to enter the targeted system and take control if a brute force attack is successful. Reputational damage. A successful brute force attack may harm an individual's reputation as well as reputation in society. Regulatory penalties. Usually, homeowners are not immediately subject to regulatory penalties when it comes to home security, but to guarantee the safety and privacy of their houses, homeowners may need to abide by rules and regulations. Now, the solution part. It's best to uh, do some precaution and to do prevention and solution by using strong and complicated passwords, using letters, special characters, numbers. Then limit login attempts and disable root SSH logins. You need to enable the notification button. Then adopt IP address monitoring. Then use two-factor authentication. Also, this needs to be enabled. Employ a CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is a very popular thing in Google. When someone wants to log in, they need to do the CAPTCHA. Then use web application firewalls, WAFs. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Parth, and today I'll be talking about the attack 3, that is phishing. So, what is phishing? Phishing is a form of cyber attack where an attacker possesses as a trustworthy entity to deceive individual into providing sensitive information such as password, credit card details, or personal data. It typically occurs through fraud emails, messages, or websites that mimic legitimate organizations or individuals. Well, the aim of phishing attack is to trick recipients by clicking on fraud links, opening infected attachment, or entering their confidential information on fake websites. These phishing attempts often employ social engineering techniques to manipulate victims into acting impulsively or out of fear. Now, moving on to the next slide, that is types of phishing. Well, I have mentioned here 5 types of phishing. The first one is email phishing. So, in email phishing, scammer create emails that impersonate legitimate companies and attempt to steal information. Spear phishing is similar to email phishing, but the messages are personalized. For example, they can make the emails as they appear to come from your boss. The third type of phishing is clone phishing. Scammer replicate an email you have received but include a dangerous attachment or link. The fourth type of phishing is whaling. Scammer target high-ranking executives to gain access to sensitive data or money. Pop-up phishing. Pop-up phishing is just like by providing pop-up tricks to users to install the malwares. Now moving. So the working of phishing. Many of the modern attackers use sophisticated schemes to target particular individuals or companies. They use skillful social engineering tactics to manipulate victims and steal their sensitive information. Clever scammers impersonate legitimate organizations by spoofing their email address and create emails that look as if they came from a real person from the organization. The fake emails may include malicious attachment or a link to spur the activity from the victim. The link will lead to a fake site that appears legitimate and is designed to collect user credentials, financial information, or other sensitive data. In other cases, the mail might include an attachment that infects the victim computer with the malware. Phishing attacks can have several consequences for individuals, businesses, and organizations. Here are some of the impacts. So, identity theft. The stolen information can be used for identity theft, where the attacker impersonates the victim, open fraud accounts, or conduct financial transactions from the name. Victims may suffer financial losses and may also face challenges in recovering their funds or repaying their credit cards. By tricking victims into revealing their usernames and information, attackers can gain unauthorized access to various online accounts. They may exploit the compromised account for further phishing attempts, spread malware, or engage in other activities. Phishing attacks can lead to data breaches where sensitive information of individuals or organizations is exposed, and it can have a significant repercussions which may fail to protect customer data. Malware can grant attackers unauthorized access to the device, which allows them to monitor their personal activities and steal their personal information as well. Now, moving on to the next slide. Well, preventing and defending against phishing attacks requires a combination of technological measures, security practices, and user education. Here are some potential solutions to help mitigate the risk of phishing. Well, regular training sessions can help raise awareness and promote a security conscious mindset. Implement email filtering and anti-spam solutions to automatically detect and block phishing emails. Such technologies use various techniques such as pattern recognition, sender reputation analysis, and content analysis to identify and filter out suspicious or malicious messages. By enabling multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring additional verification such as one-time password on mobile devices. Employing web filtering solutions that block access to known malicious websites or those with suspicious activities. Maintain a regularly updated blacklist of known phishing websites to prevent users from inadvertently visiting them.
I'll be doing man-in-the-middle attack for smart homes. Man-in-the-middle attack is an attack that changes or alters the communication between two entities without them knowing, believing that the message sent or received is the true original message. In smart homes, all the technologies are interconnected to each other through the Internet of Things. This can be via the main controller of the smart appliances such as owner's mobile phone application, or via a main controlling hub. Although IoT in smart homes has revolutionized the way we live, it has also opened many pathways for potential security threats and attacks. And man-in-the-middle attack is one example of an attack. Man-in-the-middle attack works by first looking for a vulnerable area to insert themselves into to start targeting and attacking a communication channel between two parties. The first stage is intersecting stage. This can be done through techniques such as ARP poisoning, DNS spoofing, or intercepting data or compromising network devices. ARP poisoning is when the attacker takes control of the ARP cache, which allows it to redirect the network traffic to their own page to take control. When the attacker's MAC address gets linked to a victim's IP address in a local area network where the attacker has sent false ARP messages over the LAN. This allows the attacker to enter the communication medium, which can then eavesdrop or alter or gain access to confidential information via the man-in-the-middle attack. DNS spoofing is where the user gets tricked into an attacker's page while trying to go on a normal site. This happens when the attacker manipulates the DNS server, which is responsible for connecting a site to a person's IP address to communicate over the internet. This happens by inserting the malicious data into a DNS cache, which gives attacker control over the DNS server. They can then use this to redirect any DNS requests made to any domains in their own IP addresses, which they can then take control over the victim's systems. Following up after a successful interception, the attacker can alter the information passing through from one entity to the other, pretending to be both participants. This is where the attacker can trick victim into providing confidential details, or to lure them into downloading malware, which can give them full control over the whole system. Once they have full control, they can then access the confidential information connected to the system, such as account details, bank records, and medical records. Some ways that an attacker can decrypt are creating fake digital signature, which is when the attacker creates fake signatures to use on a secure socket layer or a TSL to impersonate the original server. Once they succeed, they can gain control over the whole server. Another way to decrypt is via HTTPS spoofing, which is when the victim goes on a fake secured website, which was set up by the attacker via fake security certificate, allowing them to see everything that gets entered by the victim. The certificate is verified by the browser from the trusted list site. And another example of decryption is via SSL stripping. This is when the security features are downgraded by the attacker, for example from HTTPS down to a HTTP without the secure socket layer, without the victim noticing. The victim is then using unencrypted and unsecured site, making everything visible to the attacker. The two main consequences of a man-in-the-middle attack are data breach and identity theft. Data breach is when an unauthorized entity gains access to private or confidential information which they can use to alter, sell, share, or steal without permission. Data breach can lead to severe consequences such as privacy violation, identity theft, financial loss, trust and reputational damages, and legal consequences. Identity theft is when data breach takes place and the attacker has unauthorized access to a person's personal information, which they can use the victim's identity to make acts on their behalf, such as stealing online, trading in the dark web, committing illegal acts under another identity to protect their own. Potential solutions for a man-in-the-middle attack can be to change the IPv4 to an IPv6, as IPv4 is very limiting with only 32-bit IP address, whereas IPv6 has a 128-bit, which is 1028 times more, so it is longer lasting. It also has many more security features, such as allowing IoT products to be uniquely addressable without having to work around all the traditional NAT and firewall issues. Another solution is using hash cryptography, which is a digital signature which prevents attacker to use public key to pretend to be the sender. It helps verify the sender's identity and maintain message integrity, as it is a one-way cryptography function which is almost irreversible. It converts any form of data into a unique string of text which cannot be deciphered, and when the digital signature is verified, the message can be sent through. And other security features are regularly updating software security and keeping account and login details and passwords regularly updated with two-factor authentication methods. These techniques ensure that the information between two parties has not been changed and remains confidential and protected. And other forms of MIMT attack protection and preventions can be to use VPN, antivirus protections, and being cautious before clicking on any suspicious links.
Hey everyone, my name is Katia and my attack is the denial of service attack. So what is the attack and how it's related to smart home? The denial of service attack seeks to disrupt systems, networks and services by overwhelming them with malicious traffic or exploiting vulnerabilities. In the context of smart homes, DOS attacks pose a significant threat due to their reliance on interconnected devices and networks. Smart homes are designed to provide automation, convenience, and security, but they can also become vulnerable attacks for attackers. Let's understand how DOS attacks can affect the ecosystem of the smart home environment. So now we're going to take a closer look at the different techniques and how they actually work. So the disrupted DOS attack lets the attacker take control of the network and compromise devices known as a bootnet. By commanding this bootnet, the attacker flooded the smart home system or network with an overwhelming amount of traffic. This flood of traffic consumes the system resources, leading to the loss of functionality for legitimate users while the attacker retains control. Another approach is the flooding attacking. So the ICMP flood, this attack involves sending a massive amount of internet control message protocol echo request packets to the network device. The flood overwhelms the network capacity to respond, effectively denying legitimate users access to the network. An SYN flood, the attacker sends a flood of TCP connection requests with spoofed IP addresses. When the targeted network receives these requests, it allocates resources to establish a connection. However, since the attacker doesn't complete the handshake, the system is left waiting for a response, rendering it inaccessible to the home. The UDP flood is the user datagram protocol flood attack, targets the communication protocols used in the network. The attacker floods the target system with a high volume of UDP packets targeting an unexpected port. Since the UDP does not require a handshake process to establish a connection, the system becomes overwhelmed by these packets, leading to disruption and network congestion. Resource depletion attacks aims to exhaust critical systems resources, such as a CPU, memory, or network bandwidth, within the smart home network infrastructure. These attacks disrupt the standard functioning of a system, leading to degraded performance and response. As a result, communication between devices within the smart home environment is compromised and leading to a loss of control and hindered communication. Buffer overflow attacks exploit vulnerabilities in smart home devices by overwhelming the memory capacity. Attackers input more data than the device can handle, causing a software vulnerability. Application layer attacks focus on exploiting vulnerabilities in the network stack and service layer of IoT devices within a smart home. Attackers manipulate requests to influence the targeted service, causing outrage and gaining unauthorized access to device. The consequences of a DOS attack in smart homes can be far-reaching. Privacy breach is a significant concern, as attackers can seize control of devices like security cameras, thermostats, and alarms, breaching personal data and invading the homeowner's privacy. Loss of remote access hampers the convenience and benefits of managing devices from anywhere. Safety and security are compromised, as a DOS attack can disable essential safety systems and prevent homeowners from receiving emergency alerts. Financial loss can result from repair costs and disrupted subscription-based services. Moreover, the psychological impact of feeling violated and unsafe in one's own home can lead to stress, anxiety, and decreased well-being. Fortunately, there are several potential solutions to prevent and defend against DOS attacks in smart homes. Implementing network monitoring and intrusion detection systems help identify and respond to suspicious traffic. Firewalls and network segmentation can provide protective barriers and filter out malicious requests. Traffic filtering and rate limiting enable control over incoming and outgoing traffic. Redundancy and load balancing distribute networks traffic and ensure continuity of service. Utilizing DOS protection services from third-party providers adds an additional layer of defense. Regular software updates and patch management are crucial to address known vulnerabilities.